What is up, car addicts? In this video, I'll be giving a visual guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race totaling over $300,000. Note that the time trials can only be completed once a week for the $100,000 payout, and the premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times within a 48-minute cooldown between each win. So starting off with the time trial this week, which is Vinewood Bull, I highly recommend a motorcycle such as the Bandito 801, Hakuchu Drag, or Shotaro for this. It can also be completed in some cars, but I prefer the bikes for this specific time trial. So this one is a lot more difficult to complete if we follow the route the GPS tells you to, but you will have a substantially higher chance of winning if you use the shortcut I show through the train tracks. So, of course, if you're in the Bandito 801, you want to make sure you're doing wheelies as much as possible to increase your speed, especially in the train track area. Also, the path I showed to get back on the road after getting out of the train track area is very crucial, as you can fall off your bike. I understand this time trial is a lot more difficult than most of them. If you find yourself having issues, remember that you can always respawn to the start of the time trial by holding triangle, which is super useful. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is La Fuente Blanca. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. Also remember, guys, that for this week, the Bandito is actually on sale. So now is the best time to get one if you plan on beating these time trials every week. So this week's RC time trial is pretty difficult, mainly because of the elevation changes with the RC Bandito, which it doesn't really like. So this one requires a lot of throttle control. Anytime you go over a bump while turning, just let off the throttle, let the Bandito roll, to avoid going on two wheels or flipping in the bumpy turn areas. Also, there are some tight areas and places where you might miss turns, so definitely practice this one a couple times at slow speeds before you get fully into it. And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is down the drain. This one is restricted to the muscle cars class. So for this one, I personally find the Vapid Clique to be the best because of the large bump speed boost it gets from going on and off the sides. But you can also use the Pisswazzer Dominator or the Hellfire, which also perform very well. This race is mainly reliant on top speed and the bump boost you get from going on and off the sides. So this race is pretty easy with really only one obstacle that's a little tricky, and that's the jump after the starting line. I recommend braking lightly before the jump and angling your car to the left to avoid jumping out of the track to the right. Even if you over angle it to the left, it's better to be safe and land on the water than landing off the track. Other than that, this race is pretty straightforward. And that's it, guys. Normal time trial this week is pretty difficult, but can be completed with patience. It personally took me 3 tries to complete it, but it wasn't too bad, especially with the respawn feature. If you happen to fall off your bike doing one of the obstacles, it gives you like a little timer, so try to run as fast as you can, get back on the bike, and then hold triangle to respawn at the start of the time trial. Now the RC time trial of Fuente Blanca is pretty easy as long as you go slow in the turns. Honestly, that's the main thing with a Bandito for almost every time trial, is just to go slow in the turns. That one actually only took me 1 try because I've done it in the past. And this week's premium race is pretty simple if you've done it before. It's literally like an original GTA race when the game came out. I won that one on my first try. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $300,000 between the 3, and setting yourself the goal to beat them is also a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know down below which one you found the most difficult and what vehicles you used down below in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.